بسم الله الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. Information and questions and reactions. If you don't have it, I'm going to pick you up and make you give a speech if you don't know how to answer. But if you answer incorrectly, you're okay. Correctly, you're more okay. Two conditions. We said that how many times? Many times. And one student asked me, you already asked that question before. I said, check the answer. And the person I asked did not answer it correctly. Said, maybe that's why I keep asking it. Two conditions for anything you do to be recorded as a plus for you that qualifies you for Jannah has to be present. Anytime you do something, you have to have these two or your actions useless when it comes to hasanat. If I put, the finger right there, okay. That's you, right? No, the front of you, Say Alhamdulillah, it's not you. Do you know it? Time. We talk in the class, and we talk in the morning, and we talk in the evening, and we present it, and we have students, and we still not having except two raising their hand. I know a lot more than two knows that, and they're scared to raise their hand, but I'll pick you. Bulbul. Faddal ya Bilal. What's the number one? Sincerity. How easy to say the word and how difficult to do it. This is like yesterday. You give a speech, and when you talk about Tawheed, the person who just sat down, he got up and left. It's like I already know that. What do I need to know about La ilaha illallah? It's case closed, over. Yet Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, 13 years is telling people La ilaha illallah. For people who speak the Arabic, you know the dictionary that you have? They already have it. They didn't have a dictionary there before. You know why? Because they already know it. Yet, they sit and listen. Sincerity. Sincerity is with whom? With Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Again, what is sincerity, Maryam? Briefly. Doing things for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I got nothing. Because if I go to a kindergarten boy or girl and I tell him that, they got nothing from it. Doing things for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Did that make sense to you? No. It didn't make any sense to me, honestly. Harsh. What do you think? How can you make sense out of me? Maryam, can you rephrase it? I mean, she's right when she answered, but I want something where I can act. تفضل يا ذمالي. When إيش? If you heard it, I'm going to cut your hair. What did she say? Whoa. Thank God. Can you repeat what she said? Alhamdulillah. Can you? Nobody heard you, Damari. When you do, yeah, you're basically asking for the reward, right? Sincerity. Don't think of people. That's sincerity. Don't think of anything in this life, in this world. That's sincerity. All you think about is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala giving you something for what you did. If you think of anything, of any kind of compensation, you're not sincere. Even if you want people to just smile at you, that means you did it for that. Or approve you, or thank you. As simple as that. What's the main enemy for sincerity? Your nafs, ahsanti. And the nafs wants what? Arrogance. Arrogance. You want to look good. You want people to praise you. You want to get something for you. You're not going to do it for free. This is how life is. You got to get paid. Nothing is free. That's nafs. That's why it's so hard to do anything sincere. That doesn't mean you don't have anybody. No, there are plenty, but difficulty. What's the second condition? Good intention. What's the difference between sincerity and good intention? We just said that. You know the taste. I'll show you a picture of it. Many of you know that. And no, I gotta pick someone who doesn't raise their hand like Sumayya. Following the sunnah. Following the sunnah. So we see a sunnah there, we start running after it, right? What is the meaning of following the sunnah? Teach a kindergarten. Teach someone who is so little. Make sense to people when you explain things. What is following the sunnah? No. What is the best definition of follow the sunnah?
Doing things the way the Prophet did it.
Nice, but I need better than that. Tell him to stop. What? Lana. Following the actions and approvals of the Prophet. I said, I'm good, but I need better than that. Yalla ya Hasan. And how many times I told you about this? In the class, you're going to get it. Yalla ya Zuhair. Show it there. Zuhair, you fell asleep this year. What's the deal? I want you to sit in the front here.
Doing exactly what Prophet did.
Doing exactly. Kindergarten doesn't know what Prophet Muhammad did. Explain it more. Yalla ya Sheikh Anwar. Supporting the wall is not going to help you in this life. Okay, I'll help you. Following the Quran and the Sunnah. That's following the Sunnah. Make sense to you? No. Quran, what does Quran has to do with it? We'll follow the Sunnah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Who brought the Quran? Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So if you follow the Sunnah, you ignore the Quran? No. So the teachings of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the Quran that he brought, and the actions and the sayings, which is in support of the Quran. That's following the Sunnah. What's the main enemy for following the Sunnah? Main enemy. This is a hard one. I haven't talked about it before. Now? Ahsanti, mashallah. Hey, students get dollars, you get dollars too.
I would prefer almonds.
Almonds? Okay. We're going to do something different, right? Here's almonds in a sandwich. Bid'ah, subhanallah, this is so true. Those who innovate, they hate the Sunnah. That's why they come up with different teachings. That's why they add to the teachings. That's why when you tell them this is not the Sunnah, they fight you. And they argue with you. And they bring every excuse. And that's why if you hang with a person who has bid'ah, he makes you sick. Sick to the bottom. Just like hanging with a person who's attached to this dunya. All he talks is, I got this job, and I put some money, and my return was $100,000. And it's like, wow, he just did this for one move, 100,000, and I worked for a whole year to make half of that, and oh my God. Then you start hating your life and hating your job and belittling everything you do, and the person is just a fat liar. Most of the cases. Hanging with a person attached to this dunya makes you sick, and hanging with a person who does bid'ah and likes bid'ah and away from the sunnah makes you sick. So make sure there is nothing better. Like my wife just asked me now, Hasan, what is that dua? I like to memorize the dua. And I said, what's the dua? She said it, and I said, does it say? Is it authentic? And she said, no, but it's a dua. What's wrong with that? And I said, there is nothing better than what Prophet Muhammad ﷺ gave you, even if it's okay. No one is going to put words better than Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, and no one is going to be more comprehensive than him, and sufficient for you that it is a sunnah. When someone asks you, what's that dua? You say, that's sunnah of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. He used to make the khalas. With the other thing, and you start adding. You get the dua of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, and they make the dua, and they start adding to it. Words from their life. Ya Khabir, Ya Alim, Ya Rahim, and you add it. Just, it's like, here's the dua, hadith, and you start injecting. It's like, did Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, he didn't know about this, that it could have been better if he put this, or you're trying to be cuter, that you are improving the dua or the Prophet ﷺ? A man came to Imam Malik, and he said, I want to make Hajj. Where is the miqat? Where should I wear the clothes for ihram? And he told him the place. So he said, I'm going to do it a little bit farther than that. He told him, Akhsha an takuna fitna. I feel like it's a bad thing. He said, oh, I just want to get more hasanat. That's all. That's my intention. So he has the intention. That's condition number one. Give him a check mark for that. What's the second one for the good credit? Sunnah. He told him, Prophet Muhammad ﷺ started from something different than yours. So you want something more. He said, which is worse? He said, which is worse and more fitna than doing something you think Prophet Muhammad ﷺ fell short of doing? Yeah, the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ did it from here. I'm going to do it from here to get more hasanat. You'll never get it. You'll never even get the hasanat for the action, period. You lose everything. Because sincerity is there, following the sunnah is not there, put a fat X on it. Subhanak Allahumma bihamdik, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Who's fasting? You know what today is? Thursday. And you know what today is? The 1st of Muharram. And you know what Muharram is? The best and the most month that Prophet Muhammad ﷺ used to fast after Ramadan. Ask me, Anwar, why do you think they did not do many of them? I'll tell you why. Because our advertisement came late. Sah? But guess what? I wanted to talk about advertisements and show you about what I taught, but we don't have the time. Because we'll talk about advertisements some other time, inshallah. If you're not fasting, ya Sheikh, plan on it next week. Enjoin good and forbid evil. Going down the stairs, barely can walk, hanging, holding my bag and everything, fearing to fall or to slip, knee problems, back problems, and then somebody talking and joking behind me. And I said, it never occurred in your mind to take my bag to help me with something? You see me hanging on the wall and everything? I see the child with a big bag and everything, I just grab it without saying anything and put it for him downstairs. Where is action? Read, think, and no action. Some people read and not think, and some people think and not read, and some people think and read, but they don't act. We need to do it all. Tahya dua? Dania? Sah. Any messages? No? Halana when I say, okay, Subhanak Allahumma wa bihamdik, ashhadu an la ilaha illa ant, because English and Arabic, sometimes when you switch, it's not. You do that and watch the sound. Let's see if we can go silently. And promise not to talk to anyone. Just mind your business and get your stuff. Let's see how that works. Jazakumullah.